All right, today we're diving into a really powerful framework for any leader out there. We live in a world that's just constantly throwing curveballs, right? Well, this model helps you figure out if your organization is fragile, if it's robust, or if it's something else entirely, something called anti-fragile. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Just think for a second about the last time your team or your company faced a huge, totally unexpected shock. What happened? Did things just break? Did you just kind of bend and hang on for dear life? Or did you somehow use that chaos to actually get better? Just keep that answer in your head as we go. And here it is. This is the model we're going to break down today, the triad of leadership. It's not a straight line, it's a continuous cycle between these three states: fragile, robust, and anti-fragile. Honestly, for any leader trying to get by in this unpredictable world, just understanding this flow is an absolute game changer. Okay, let's kick things off with the state we all know, and probably fear the most. This is the fragile zone. This is where pressure causes things to shatter. So what is a fragile system? Well, it's basically anything you have to handle with kid gloves. When it gets hit with something unexpected, it doesn't just bend, it completely breaks. This is where any kind of chaos leads directly to failure. Now, what's really fascinating here is how these characteristics all feed each other, right? Fragile organizations, they hate uncertainty. So what do? They impose these super rigid top-down rules. But of course, those rules make it impossible to adapt. And when something inevitably goes wrong, they punish the mistake instead of actually learning from it. It's like a delicate teacup. Yeah, it's perfect for its one job, but you drop it, it shatters into a million pieces. So, if you're fragile, what's the logical next step? Well, you try to build something stronger, something that doesn't break so easily. And that brings us to the next state in our cycle, robustness. Robustness is all about resilience. A robust system is designed to take a hit. It can endure stress, it absorbs shock, and it comes out the other side totally unchanged. Exactly the same as it was before. And this slide, it really shows you the good and the, let's say, the limitation of being robust. You've got strong processes, you can handle the shocks you planned for. But the key phrase here is that it always recovers to its original state. So instead of a teacup, think of a really sturdy coffee mug. You can drop it, and it probably won't break. It's tough for sure, but it never learns anything from being dropped. It's good, but it's not the end of the story. So if just surviving isn't the ultimate goal, then what is? What lies beyond just not breaking? This is where we get to the most exciting, most powerful idea in this whole triad. And this is the mind-bending part. Anti-fragile is not just the opposite of fragile. Think about it. The opposite of a teacup shattering isn't a coffee mug not shattering. The true opposite is something that loves to be dropped because every single shock makes it stronger. It literally feeds on chaos. So how does an anti-fragile system actually work? Well, it sees stressors as information. It welcomes small failures because every single one is a lesson that makes the entire system smarter and more capable. The absolute best analogy for this, it's the human immune system. When you're exposed to a germ, your immune system doesn't just survive it, it develops antibodies, it learns, it adapts, and it gets stronger and better prepared for the next time. That, right there, is anti-fragility in action. Okay, this slide right here, this is where it all clicks into place. Just look at the differences. Your response to stress, you can break, you can resist, or you can improve. Your attitude toward change, you can avoid it, you can endure it, or you can actually seek it out. And that leads to the real bottom line, the outcome. Are you headed for system failure, simple survival, or true evolution? So, now we get the three states, right? But the real magic, the real work of a leader, isn't about just picking one and staying there. True leadership is about managing the flow between all three. Let's go back to that first image we saw. See those arrows? It's a cycle. A system that becomes too robust, too rigid, can suddenly become fragile when a new, unforeseen threat pops up. And an anti-fragile system that stops experimenting and gets complacent, it can lose its edge and slide right back. A leader's job is to be constantly diagnosing, where are we right now, and where do we need to guide the organization next? And this brings us to a super important insight. The goal is not to make your entire organization anti-fragile. I mean, think about it. You want your payroll system to be incredibly robust, right? You don't want it learning from errors every month. The real art of leadership is knowing which parts of your organization need rock-solid stability and which parts need to embrace a little chaos so they can innovate and grow. So if you're a leader, what's the playbook? Well, it's pretty much this four-step journey. First, hunt down what's fragile in your system. Second, build robust processes to create stability. Third, from that stable foundation, start to cultivate anti-fragility through experimentation. And finally, and this one is so important, stay vigilant. Complacency is the fastest way to slide right back to being fragile. You know, Nassim Taleb, the guy who came up with this whole idea, he summed it up perfectly. Resilience, or what we're calling robustness, is all about staying the same. Anti-fragility is about getting better. It's the difference between bouncing back and bouncing forward. And that brings us right back to where we started, but now with a whole new lens. So look at your own world again. Are you fragile, just hoping nothing goes wrong? Are you robust, prepared for what you know, but totally unprepared for what you don't? Or are you actively building a system that gets stronger from the beautiful, unpredictable chaos of the world? Because that answer, well, that's what's going to determine your future.